The galaxy remembered the day Earth burned. It was not a quick death. It was slow, cruel, and terrifying. Armies of alien fleets surrounded the planet, blocking the skies with endless black ships. Billions of humans looked up in fear as the heavens filled with fire. Cities that once glowed with light and life turned into dust and shadows. Oceans boiled, forests turned into smoke, and the Earth's surface cracked like dry skin under the endless bombardment. The attackers did not want mercy. They wanted silence. They wanted the human race erased from history forever. To them, humanity was too dangerous, too unpredictable, too bold to be allowed to survive. The galaxy had fought humans before fought their courage, their stubborn spirit, and their endless hunger to explore. And so, the alien rulers decided on one final solution. They would not fight humans again. They would end them. The destruction of Earth became a lesson told across the stars. "This is what happens to those who rise too fast," whispered alien teachers to their students. "This is what happens when a race forgets its place." Every empire, every colony, every small world was shown the burning of Earth as proof that no one could challenge the great powers of the galaxy and live. But even as Earth burned, rumors began to spread. Some said human ships had escaped into the void before the last strike. Others said entire colonies hidden on worlds had survived. The alien conquerors laughed at such stories. To them, the humans were nothing but ash now. Their world was dust. Their people were scattered smoke in the wind. Yet the galaxy could not forget the look in the eyes of humanity's last defenders. Soldiers stood on ruined ground with broken weapons, still fighting, even when all hope was lost. They fought not because they believed they could win, but because they refused to kneel. That memory haunted the galaxy. The fire was gone, but the spirit of resistance still burned in the shadows of their minds. As centuries passed, Earth became a dead world. The once blue jewel of the solar system was now a scar, a planet of silence and dust. Alien explorers visited sometimes, just to stare at the ruins. They walked through the cracked streets of fallen cities and saw bones buried under ash. They took fragments of human machines, ancient weapons, and broken books, displaying them in their museums as trophies of victory. And yet, strange things began to happen. Ships that came too close to the ruins of Earth reported strange signals broken whispers in the dark. Some swore they heard human voices calling through the static. Others claimed to see moving lights on the surface of the ruined planet. Most dismissed it as broken equipment or imagination. But a very few, carried fear in their eyes when they spoke of it. Legends grew. Pilots told stories of ghost fleets drifting in silent formation, black ships with no heat, no light, waiting in the endless dark. Merchants whispered about colonies that should not exist, hidden stations where old human banners still hung. Scientists laughed at these tales, calling them nothing more than bedtime stories for frightened crews. But the fear spread, and the stories refused to die. Civilizations rose and fell in the 30,000 years that followed. Empires that once destroyed Earth themselves crumbled into dust, swallowed by time. But the memory of humanity never truly left. To some, humans were monsters waiting to return. To others, they were martyrs, the bravest race the stars had ever seen. And then came the first real sign. An explorer ship passing near the dark edges of the galaxy vanished without a trace. Its last transmission was only 3 words, repeated again and again before the signal cut. "They are coming." No one could explain it. No one wanted to, for the galaxy had lived in comfort for too long. They had grown fat, rich, and proud, believing they were safe. They believed the story they told themselves, that humanity was gone, erased, reduced to nothing but ash on a dead world. But in the cold dark of space, where stars burned slow and time stretched long, a secret had been growing. Humanity was not dead. Humanity was waiting. And soon, very soon, the galaxy would discover the truth. The ashes of Earth were not the end. They were only the beginning. The galaxy moved on, or at least it tried to. After Earth was burned, the great alien powers believed. The war was finished. They rebuilt their fleets, carved up new territories, and wrote history books declaring the humans as a dead mistake. But history does not end so easily. Thousands of years passed. Civilizations that once fought humans grew old. Some collapsed into dust, others rose in their place. Worlds changed hands, and entire empires turned into forgotten ruins. Yet through all these ages, one shadow never truly left the galaxy: the memory of humanity. At first, it lived only in whispers. Explorers traveling through deep space told stories of strange signals, a transmission that sounded like a heartbeat, a coded message no one could translate, a single human word repeated again and again. Most dismissed these stories as tricks of space, echoes of lost machines drifting forever. But those who heard them felt unease. Merchants crossing remote sectors claimed they were watched. They told of ships that matched no known designs, black and vast, appearing for seconds before vanishing without a trace. Sometimes they followed just long enough to be noticed, as if testing, as if studying. No records confirmed it, no evidence survived, but the fear spread like a sickness. Empires laughed at the rumors. They called them ghost tales. For the rich and powerful, it was easier to believe humanity was gone. It was comforting to think that no force in the universe could rise again from total destruction. But deep down, the leaders carried doubt. When the lights were dim and the halls were empty, even the rulers of galaxies remembered the stubborn eyes of humans who fought to their last breath. And then came the unexplained. Ancient ruins appeared in places no civilization had ever claimed. Machines were found on forgotten moons, machines older than the current empires, but carrying markings no one dared to name. In some archives, hidden deep, scholars recognized the truth. They were human, yet no one spoke it aloud. To speak, it was to invite fear. 30,000 years passed, like this, an age of silence, an age of unease. But silence is not peace. Silence is waiting. Across the stars, strange events continued. A mining colony vanished without warning, leaving behind nothing but cold tunnels and empty machines. A convoy of warships disappeared in a sector long thought barren, their last message a frantic scream. They are watching us. Entire worlds swore they saw enormous fleets in the night sky, fleets that left no record, no trace, only terror. Still, no proof was ever found. And so the galaxy convinced itself again and again, it cannot be humanity. Humanity is gone. But the stories refused to die. They grew instead. Some races turned these tales into religion. They believed the humans were spirits, guardians of the void, who punished the arrogant. Others taught their children that one day the humans would return, and when they did, the galaxy would burn anew. In the great academies of alien empires, young minds studied war history. They looked at the destruction of Earth as a warning. Do not challenge power. Yet those same students often wondered, in secret, what if the humans had survived? What if the silence was not the end, but a plan? And then came the most chilling event of all. A deep space probe, launched by a wealthy empire, was sent to the far edges of the galaxy. For centuries it traveled, sending back data. One day it recorded something impossible. A vast station hidden in the black, larger than any known city, orbiting a dead star. Around it floated fleets of dark ships in perfect formation. The probe sent 3 images before the signal cut. In the last image, a single symbol glowed across the station's hull. The symbol of Earth. The probe never sent again. The empire that launched it erased the records, destroyed the files, and silenced every scientist who had seen them. But rumors escaped, as they always do. Whispers carried across merchants, smugglers, soldiers, and wanderers. Whispers of the impossible. Whispers of the truth. The galaxy began to tremble in small ways. No one admitted it, but fear was growing. The silence was too long, too heavy, too unnatural. Something was hiding in the dark, and everyone knew what it was, even if they would not say the word humanity for 30,000 years. They had been waiting, watching, preparing, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming next. For 30,000 years, the galaxy lived under the comfort of lies. Humanity was gone, they said. Earth was ash, they said. The whispers of ghost fleets and hidden colonies were only stories told by frightened travelers. But lies do not last. Forever it began quietly. A single trade convoy vanished near the rim. The escort ships were strong, fully armed, yet they never returned. Days later, a fragment of their last message was found. Just one word, humans. At first, no one believed it. Governments called it a hoax. Military leaders dismissed it as an old myth returning to scare the weak. But then more ships began to vanish. Patrol fleets, explorers, even whole armies disappeared in silence. No wreckage was found, no survivors, no clues, only silence. And then the silence broke. At the edge of the galaxy, in a system long abandoned, something moved. It was first detected by a wandering probe. The probe's sensors screamed as enormous signatures emerged from the void. Thousands, no, millions of ships. They came out of nothingness, sliding from the darkness as if the stars themselves had given birth to them. The probe captured a single image before it was destroyed. A fleet stretched wider than a planet's orbit, black and silver, with banners no one had seen for 30,000 years. Upon those banners, one symbol burned brighter than suns, a circle of blue and green. Earth, the galaxy, froze. Entire governments fell into panic. Armies rushed to borders, unsure whether to fight or flee. Scholars wept when they realized what it meant. Humanity was not gone. Humanity had not died. They had been waiting in the void, hidden from all eyes, building, growing, turning their vengeance into an empire of fire. When the first human fleet entered alien space, the stars shook. Planets watched in horror as their skies filled with ships larger than anything ever imagined. Alien war fleets rose to meet them, confident in their numbers, their weapons, their pride. But when they fired, the human ships did not break. They did not even slow. Weapons unknown to the galaxy tore through the alien lines like paper. Shields collapsed, armor burned, and proud fleets crumbled in seconds. Survivors spoke of beams of light that split entire planets in two, of machines that devoured ships whole, of soldiers who walked through fire without falling. The truth was terrifying. While the galaxy had lived in comfort, humanity had evolved. Beyond them all, 30,000 years of silence had not been wasted. They had built weapons from science no one else dared to dream of. They had turned vengeance into technology and pain into power. And the most frightening part was not the weapons. It was the humans themselves. Their voices cut through every broadcast, calm, cold, promising one thing: we have returned. Across the galaxy, empires trembled. Leaders who once laughed at the old stories now begged their armies to stand ready. But deep down, every one of them knew the truth. This was not a war they could win. Humanity had come back not as survivors, but as something greater, something unstoppable. The burning of Earth had been a scar for 30,000 years. Now the scar had become a blade, and that blade was aimed at the heart of the galaxy. The galaxy had always seen war. Empires clashed, fleets battled, and planets burned. But no war in history looked like this. When humanity returned, their vengeance was not loud at first. It was precise. Entire alien war fleets disappeared in silence. Stations went dark without warning. Colonies woke to find the sky filled with human ships. And then the destruction began. The first empire to face them was the same one that once led the attack on Earth. They believed they were ready. Their fleets stretched across dozens of systems. Their weapons were legendary. Their commanders had crushed rebellions for thousands of years. They were sure they could face humans again. But when the humans arrived, confidence turned to horror. The alien fleets fired everything they had: torpedoes, energy beams, planet-cracking cannons. The void lit up with fire brighter than suns. For a moment, the galaxy believed the humans would finally fall. But when the light faded, the human fleet still moved forward, not broken, not even slowed. Their weapons answered no one had ever seen. Fire like it. Beams of light cut through entire armadas in seconds. Alien ships dissolved into nothing, as if the universe itself erased them. Shields collapsed the instant human weapons touched them. Engines froze, reactors died, and proud warships turned into drifting coffins. On the ground, it was worse. Human soldiers stepped out of ships wearing armor like living shadows. Bullets, lasers, plasma all failed against them. Cities tried to resist, but human boots marched through streets untouched. They carried weapons that tore through buildings with a single strike. Alien armies broke in hours, some in minutes, but it was not only their strength that terrified the galaxy, it was their silence. The humans did not shout. They did not boast. They moved like judgment, itself cold, patient, unstoppable. Every broadcast they sent carried the same words: "You burned our world." Now the galaxy burns for it. Entire empires fell in weeks. Worlds that had believed they were untouchable collapsed before human fire. Trade networks shattered. Governments screamed for peace, but no peace came. Humanity had not returned for treaties. They had returned for vengeance. In the halls of power, leaders gathered in fear. Some begged for mercy. Others tried to form alliances against the human fleets, but none of it mattered. Whenever a fleet gathered, humans struck it down before it could even launch. Whenever an empire tried to hide, humans found them. There was no escape. The galaxy realized a terrible truth. The humans had not simply survived. They had grown in silence, far beyond anything the galaxy understood. 30,000 years of pain had become 30,000 years of preparation. And now, the wrath of humanity was not just revenge, it was justice written in fire. Whispers spread across the stars. Some called them demons, some called them gods, but everyone agreed on one thing. The galaxy was no longer the same, and the humans were not finished. Their fleet spread wider. System by system, planet by planet, the galaxy that once watched Earth burn was now burning itself. And as the flames rose, a single fear grew in every alien heart. If this was only the beginning, how much worse would the end be? Asterisk, the galaxy had never known silence like this. Once, the stars rang with the noise of countless empires' fleets patrolling, merchants trading, armies marching. Now, all of that was gone. The proud rulers of the galaxy lay in ruins, their fleets broken, their cities reduced to dust. Everywhere, one truth was written across the skies. Humanity had returned, and nothing could stand in their way. But victory was not the end. It was only the beginning. Worlds waited in terror. Some sent messages begging for mercy. Others locked their doors, hiding in fear. Entire civilizations whispered the same question. Would the humans show compassion, or would they burn the galaxy? The way the galaxy had burned Earth. The human fleets moved without hurry. They did not need to rush. They already controlled the stars. Their ships blackened skies across hundreds of systems. Wherever they appeared, resistance died before it even began. Yet they did not destroy everything. Some planets were left standing. Some rulers were spared. And that, more than anything, frightened the galaxy most, because it meant humanity was not acting in blind rage. Their vengeance was precise, calculated, cold. Every empire that had taken part in Earth's destruction was erased. Every leader who had ordered fire upon the blue planet was hunted down. Justice delivered in silence. But those who had remained distant, those who had not joined the attack, some of them were left alive, watched carefully, as if humanity was testing them in the ruins of fallen capitals. Alien survivors saw something they did not understand. Human banners did not simply declare war, they declared order. Human soldiers rebuilt as much as they destroyed. They set up councils, left messages carved into stone, written in every language of the stars. The galaxy belongs to none. The galaxy belongs to all. But Earth decides the balance. Some began to hope. Some believed humanity had returned not only for revenge, but for justice.